Hey, I'm Todd Newton. Always good to see you. Always great to travel this big, beautiful world with you. Behind me here is the Parliament of Canada. This is the federal legislative branch of the Canadian government located here in Canada's capital city, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. But believe it or not, I didn't bring you here to talk Canadian politics, as fascinating as that may be. I brought you here to visit and go behind the bars of one of the most intriguing hostels in all of North America. My friend, get ready because we're going to the Ottawa Jail Hostel. Oh yeah, welcome to Ottawa and welcome to the Tattooed Traveler. Because Ottawa is Canada's capital city, many consider this to be the heart of the country. With its bilingual charm, speaking both English and French, not to mention its rich heritage, beautiful architecture, and friendly locals, Ottawa is a great place to visit. Rideau Street here in the heart of downtown is a must if shopping is on your list. Ottawa is also known for its wide array of dining options. Yes, you can get poutine here at the Byward Market. A little too much gravy for my liking, but it's there if you want it. But I do love live music, which is why when I'm in town, I always hit the old Lafayette House here. But what I'm excited to experience for the first time with you is the Ottawa Jail Hostel. If you've ever wanted to do a little time without doing a crime, well, now you can. Imagine sleeping in an actual jail cell that once held, and not too long ago, some of the most dangerous convicts here in Ottawa. I'm talking murderers, bank robbers. This is where they did their time. And there were even 3 hangings here on the premises back when corporal punishment was legal. If you were a bad guy, this is not where you wanted to end up. And very little has changed, as you'll hear, as we join the official tour guide of the hostel, Simon.
Good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Ottawa Jail Hostel. My name is Simon. I will be your tour guide today. And you may be wondering, is this really jail? Oh, hell yes, in all capacity of the words. This was a jail run by the British from 1862 through to 1972. Yes, that contemporary. And it was run by the British. And the British who ran this jail ran it just brutally with absolutely no repercussions and no one to hold them accountable. They used to run it under a code, which was called the Bloody Code. And the Bloody Code basically meant that you can enforce corporal punishment at will with no repercussions. And what's interesting is that the Bloody Code was actually outlawed in Canada in 1820, but enforced here quite liberally until 1972. Now, we can't display all the weapons that the guards use because some of them are a little too brutal and too nasty. We want you all to be able to sleep. But one of them was this old leather arm restraint / straight jacket, which is what this thing is, everybody. This is the original arm restraint that we were able to use way back when. We feel it's okay to display because it's not as nasty as the chains with hooks attached to it as well. And this room you were standing inside of right here, this used to be the front entrance where the friends and family of the prisoners would come and visit them. So what they would do is their friends and family would come here, sit on a stool, and speak to the prisoners through this door right here. This is 100% the original door. So as you can see, not a whole heck of a lot of privacy at all. As you can see, absolutely the real deal. This is the original door as well. Now everyone, welcome aboard, and hope you don't mind, but we'll be bringing along my microphone. Let's rock and roll. Thank you.
As Simon said, punishment was much different back then. Today's prisons are luxurious by comparison. This jail housed not only men, but women and also children in less than desirable accommodations.
And you said sometimes there would be as many as 10 men in here?
Yeah.
Wow. Any lights or electrical features you see were added after it became a hostel. Notice no ventilation, no heat, and no toilets.
This is wild. I mean, even if I turn around here,
It's hard to
get a little mirror. And then this is who stayed in here. Cecil Lackey was charged with stealing a watch and a chain from his employer, who was a local farmer.
So, in addition to massive overcrowding, prisoners were also exposed to widespread disease because there was only one toilet on each floor. And you're looking at it, that hole, every prisoner shared that. And many felt that death would be a better alternative than living in these conditions. So they tried to commit suicide, many inmates did, by jumping down 6, 7, 8 stories in the stairwell here. As a result, and as a preventative measure, the jail installed these suicide gates to catch the bodies. And these holes that you see in the stairs allowed the guards to see the shoes of anyone walking above or below them. Just another safety measure to keep the inmates under constant observation. Now, if your interest is piqued, mine certainly is, and you're thinking about booking a stay in one of these small single cells, there are about 60 of them, would run you about $50 a night. Not bad. I want to show you the windows here. This outer part probably installed after it became a hostel, but the slabs you see here are from the jail days, all original, and you'll notice they only point up, not down. This way the prisoners could not see the ground below them, could not plan an escape route. They could only see the sky. They thought of everything.
Here on the 8th floor, as you can see, is what was death row. So right down here is where the baddest of the bad were housed. And these are the original locks.
When a prisoner misbehaved, and that could mean any number of things, he or she was placed here in solitary confinement, often chained naked to the floor, completely cut off from all human contact, only allowed out of the cell for 15 minutes a day to stretch. The majority of the women and children that I mentioned at the top of the episode came from very poor families, and when they would accumulate too much debt, not be able to pay it back, the jail became their home. Into the dining hall now, there's a peephole, and these ventilation systems were often used by the guards to eavesdrop on the conversations of the inmates so they could monitor their activities. Now it's a wonderful breakfast space for guests of the hostel. Even the architecture of the ceiling provides the acoustics that are just right for listening in on conversation. Here's one of those leather straps Simon mentioned. Most of the violence that occurred here in the jail wasn't between the inmates. It came from the guards, and they could be ruthless, often abusing what was called broad power to maintain order. Every floor had little peepholes like the one you see here. The guards would stick their rifles through and open fire in case of riots. Prisons are fascinating places, mainly because if these walls could talk, the stories they would tell, especially a jail like this one, over 150 years old. Some of the stories are fact, others are fiction. For instance, that support beam you see there, many have said that's where prisoners were hanged in the jail's heyday. Not true. They were hanged here in the gallows, a constant and grim reminder to the prisoners of the power of the law. Throughout the jail's history, 3 men died by that noose. The third and final was in 1946, a 24-year-old convict who had been convicted of armed robbery and the murder of a police officer. The noose is slipped around the prisoner's neck, and that trapdoor opens, leaving the subject to dangle until he is no more. Canada abolished the death penalty in 1976.
Well, there you go. You can't ask for a better tour guide than our buddy Simon. And of course, a special thanks to Emma for showing us around the Ottawa Jail Hostel. Hope you enjoyed this adventure. It was a good one. And make sure you like, share, subscribe. And if you're wondering if these are as uncomfortable as they look, they are. I'm Todd Newton from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada on the Tattooed Traveler. And until we meet again, my back is killing me. Travel safely.